Okay, so good morning, students. Okay, yesterday in the last class, we have discussed about the electric dipole, okay, and we have discussed that how to determine the potential at a particular point due to the effect of the dipole, okay, and how to represent in terms of dipole moment, okay, both in the form of vector, that also we have discussed, and also how to represent the electric field intensity. That means once we calculate the potential, then using the negative of the gradient of potential, we can get the electric field intensity. Okay, and we have discussed all these things. So okay, so this part says that any surface on which potential is same throughout is called the electropotential surface. So that we have already discussed that this particular surface is called the electropotential surface. Okay, that means any surface where the potential remains constant. When you go inside, okay, then the radius decreases, then here also the electric field intensity changes and the potential accordingly changes. Okay, the intersection of the equipotential surface and the plane results in the path or line called the equipotential line. Okay, so these are called the equipotential line. Okay, this one is called the equipotential line. Okay, everywhere in this particular case. So no work is done in moving a charge from one point to another. Okay, so no work is done in moving a charge from one point to another along a equipotential surface. That means when you are moving a particular charge from one point to another within a particular same potential equipotential surface, then there is no work done. Okay. Because the work done in case of electrostatics is actually the electric potential. So the work done to bring a unipositive charge from infinity to a particular point is called the electric potential, and the work done to move a particular charge from potential A to potential B, that means point A to point B, where point A there is some potential. Suppose this is point A, and this is point B. So if this particular point has a potential of VA and this particular point has a potential of VB. If you are dragging a charge from A to B in this direction, that means you are doing some work. So that will be the potential difference, VA minus VB. Okay, there is a potential difference that will be not be equals to 0. But if a point is there C like this and you are moving the point from A to C, even though you are not completing a full cycle, that means you are completing that means if you consider a closed loop, okay, that means what you know, that potential difference is 0 when we start at a point and we again come back to the other point, to the same point. That means the work done will be 0. But here we are not ending up where we started, because we are starting from A and we are ending at C. So obviously we are not ending in the same point where you have started. So C is a different point, where C is having potential VC. But since the point C is in the equipotential surface, that means point C will also have a potential VA, because the potential at point A and point C are same. Okay, that is why the work done will be the potential difference between point A and point C, that is 0. So that means there is no work done. So no work done is there when you are moving a charge from one point to another point where both the points are in the same potential. That means that both are in the same point. Okay, that is why no work is done. That means there is no potential difference. Okay, so equation number 7 may conclude that lines of force are always normal to the equipotential surface. That means the lines of force are always normal. Lines of force means the flux lines are always normal to the equipotential surface. Examples of equipotential surface for the point as shown in this figure. This I think I have discussed yesterday. So for a point charge, the fluxes are originating from that particular point and it is traveling outwards. These are the flux lines, electric field lines. Okay, but in case of a dipole, what happens? The two charges which are separated by some distance d, positive charge will have an electric field which will create a potential of positive, and negative charge will create an electric field where the potential will be negative. So there is a boundary above which we will have positive potential, below it we have negative potential, because the flux lines will not originate from the point and travel outwards. No, here the flux lines will originate from the positive charge and it will converge to the negative charge in this way, just like a bar magnet. And the equipotential surfaces will be formed in this way. Okay. Now energy density in electrostatic field. Now since we have discussed our work done, so we can discuss our energy as well. So the difference in energy and work done, okay, theoretically or physically also there is a difference, but they both share the same unit, because the work done has a unit of joule and energy also has a unit of joule. But energy is the capacity of doing work, because if you don't have energy you cannot do work. Okay, so to determine the energy present in an assembly of charges, that means when we are shifting one particular point, okay, from infinity to we are shifting a particular charge from infinity to a particular point, that means at that particular point there is a potential. Okay, Okay, at that particular point there is a potential. So the work done will be some positive value. That means suppose the potential at P1 is V1 and you are dragging up charge from Q1 to P1. So the potential at this particular point P1, if I represent in this way, is V1. So work done will be, work done to move the charge will be Q1 into V1, because potential is work done per unit charge. So work done is charge into potential. Now this work done you are doing, that means you have some energy in you with you, because without the energy you cannot perform the work, isn't it? Because you are able to perform the work because you are having some energy. So again one has entered. Okay, now suppose we wish to position 3 charges. Suppose 3 charges are there. Okay, 3 charges which are coming from infinity and you are putting at this 3 different points. Suppose you want to shift the charge Q1 to point P1, Q2 to point P2 and Q3 to point P3. Okay, and when these charges are placed, it will create a, as per the superposition, it will create a cumulative electric field. Okay, which is comprising of the effect of all the 3 charges. Now once you move the charge Q1 to point P1, okay, there is some work done in the external field, but it won't be stored, because previously when there was no charge over here, that means when there is no charge, one second, okay, suppose there is Q1 charge, there is Q2 charge and there is Q3 charge somewhere in the universe at infinity. Okay, and I want to move this particular charge in an area at this particular point. This is P1 point, this is P2 point, this is P3 point. Okay, now previously there was no charge present in this particular area. Suppose this is one dimension, okay, this is another dimension, and I want to bring this charge from Q1 and put to P1. So previously when this particular charge was not there, it was not shifted, so there was no charge in the second dimension, there was no charge over here, there is no charge in this particular second dimension, so there is no electric field. Now if there is no electric field, there is no potential over here. Okay, no potential. So there is no potential at point P1. At point P1 and P2 and P3 there are no potentials. Now once I bring the charge Q1 to P1, then now P1 is having the charge Q1. Okay, after that it will create a electric field. It will create an electric field. It will create electric field, okay, around this particular area. Okay, now before I brought this particular charge, there was no electric field present. After I brought the charge from infinity to point P1, then it created an electric field intensity. So that means the work done to bring the charge Q1 to P1 will be equals to charge Q1 into potential V1. But before I brought the charge Q1 to P1, there was no potential at V1, because potential at V1 was 0, because there was no potential at V1 before charge was brought. So in the beginning, initial condition, potential at V1 was 0, potential at P1 was 0, so the work done will be 0. After that, when the charge is brought, then an electric field is created, then we have a potential. Now when I want to bring the charge Q2 to the point P2, then there is some potential present in this particular area. Okay, suppose if I draw this particular in this way, Suppose this particular charge q1 is quite a you can say means the magnitude is quite adequate to create electric field like this. It is creating electric field like this. Okay. So that means there is some potential due to charge q1 at every point. Okay. So when I am bringing the charge q2 to the particular point p2, it is experiencing a potential of v1. Okay. So that means it is told that no work is required to transfer q1 from infinity to p1 because the space is initially charge free and there is no electric field. So previously there was no potential, so it was electric field, and there was no electric field, so no work was done to bring the charge from infinity to the particular point p1. Okay. Now the work done in transferring q2 from infinity to point p2 is equal to the product of q2 and the potential v2 at p2 due to charge q1. That means at this particular point, okay, at this particular point p1, there is a charge q1 which is creating a potential of v1. Now suppose I have not brought this particular charge q2 yet. अभी तक मैंने चार्ज q2 को यहाँ पर लाया नहीं है, सोच लो, ठीक है. तो ये पहले डायमेंशन में ही है, इन्फिनिटी में बैठा हुआ है. Now when I bring this particular before I bring this electric field of green color is created by this particular charge q1. It is creating an electric potential at p1 which is equals to v1. Also it is creating electric potential at p2 also, which is called v12, I think 21 or 21. It is written 21. So what is v21? v21 is the potential at p2 due to q1. That means q1 पे जो चार्ज है उसका इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड बढ़ा है, तो उसके इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड का इम्पैक्ट p2 पर भी है, तो p2 में वो एक पोटेंशियल क्रिएट कर रहा है जो v21 है. सिमिलरली p3 में भी एक पोटेंशियल क्रिएट कर रहा है which is v31. Okay. Now once I bring that particular charge over here, then there will be some work done which is W2 equals to Q2 V21. Why? Because there is some charge present which is already creating a potential. अब जब ये वाला चार्ज यहाँ पर आ गया, Q2 आ गया, तो ये इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड को और भी स्ट्रॉन्ग कर दिया, बिकम स्ट्रॉन्गर, electric field become stronger. Okay. So now what happens? Now this charge is creating a potential which is V2. Okay. So at this point the charge is creating a potential of total potential, and it will also create a potential V32 also over here. We will also create a potential V32 because अब चार्ज सेकंड आ गया तो इसका भी और इसका भी दोनों का कंट्रीब्यूशन रहेगा इस पे. तो जब थर्ड वाला चार्ज को हम इन्फिनिटी से यहाँ पर लाएंगे तो यहाँ पर जो वर्क डन होगा वो चार्ज Q3 होगा, उसके साथ दो पोटेंशियल C2 प्लस C1 दोनों रहेगा, क्योंकि तीसरा वाला को जब हम ला रहे तब दोनों चार्ज का पोटेंशियल उस पर वर्क डन करेगा. पहले जब Q1 लाया था तो कोई नहीं था, इसलिए कोई वर्क डन नहीं था. जब Q2 लाया तो Q1 के वजह से वर्क डन हुआ, तो Q3 लाया तो Q1 Q2 दोनों की वजह से वर्क डन हुआ. ओके, so that means the work done is transferring Q2 from infinity to point P2 is equal to the work is out product of Q2 and the potential V21 at P2 due to Q1. Okay, similarly the work done in positioning Q3 at P3 is equal to Q3 plus V32 plus V31, where V32 and V31 are the potential at P3 due to Q2 and Q1 respectively. That means when I am bringing the charge Q3 to the point P3, then previously in the surrounding, in the area, Q1 and Q2 is already present, so they will create a potential individually at P3. So that is why during the transferring of charge Q3 to this particular point, there will be some work done due to the effect of the two potentials created by Q1 and Q2. Okay. So hence the work done in positioning the three charges, total work done will be W1 plus W2 plus W3 equals to W1 is 0, W2 is Q2 V21 and W3 is Q3 V31 plus V32. Now if the charges are positioned reverse order, मान लो कि अगर रिवर्स में हम इसको यहाँ पर बैठाते थे कि इसको हटा देते, सो मान लो हम लोग तीनों पॉइंट जैसा था वैसा ही है, P1 है, P2 है और P3 है। तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे, तीसरे वाले चार्ज को हम पहले बैठाएंगे। ओके, आई विल बी पोजिशनिंग देम इन द रिवर्स ऑर्डर। दैट मीन्स W3 will be 0. Why? Because there is no charge present. So it is the first to come. It is the newcomer. So there is no one to welcome. Okay, that is why the work is 0. Now when Q2 is brought at P2, so already Q3 is there. So it has created some electric field. So it has created some potential at over here, which is V3, and also it is created some potential over here. So इसने इस पर तैयारी कर रखा है, जब ये आएंगे इसको हम V3 देंगे। तो ये जब आ रहा है Q2 आ गया, तो ये इस पर वर्क डन हो गया। ठीक है, वर्क डन कितना है W2 का, Q2 और Q3 ने जो जमा करके रखा था V32 वो उसको मिल गया। अब जो Q1 आ रहा है, तब Q3 तो है ही, Q2 भी है वेलकम करने के लिए। तो Q3 ने यहाँ पर एक पोटेंशियल रखा है V13 और Q2 ने भी एक पोटेंशियल रखा है, ठीक है, V12। तो जब Q1 आया तब टोटल जो वर्क डन था W1 जो था वो Q1 into the contribution of the other two charges. Okay, so that is written over here that it is W3 first, then W2 plus W1. So 0 Q2 V23 plus Q1 V12 plus V13. ओके, अभी इसका एवरेज निकालेंगे, क्योंकि हो सकता है कि व्हेन वी आर ब्रिंगिंग दिस चार्जेस आई कैन स्टार्ट फ्रॉम Q1 देन Q2 and Q3 एंड anyone other can start from Q3, Q2 and Q1. So I will take both and I will take the average. So what is the average work done then? So the summation of the two, that is 2 WE plus WE, then adding these two and taking the half, it is we are getting half of QV1 plus Q2 V2 then Q3 V3। क्योंकि यहाँ पर देखो जब ऐड कर रहे हैं ना, V1 का मतलब क्या है, V1 का मतलब है V12 प्लस V13, मतलब यहाँ पर जो है, यहाँ पर V3 एक्चुअली यहाँ पर V3 जो है ना, V3 Q3 नहीं करेंगे, खुद नहीं करेंगे, ये दूसरे करवाएंगे। मतलब कि Q1 जब बैठा है Q1 में, Q2 जब बैठा है P2 में, तो Q1 and Q2 will cumulatively create a potential V3। तो V3 जो है वो है 0.3 at point P3 there is a potential created which is called V3, which is not created by Q3, it is created by the other two charges, okay, V31 and V32। that means V31 is created by charge Q1 and V32 is created by charge Q2। similarly at this particular point, जैसा कि V13 V12 है तो ये लिखेंगे आप V1। अब इस यहाँ पर क्या है, V32 है, और मतलब सॉरी ये V23 है, V23 है, मतलब पॉइंट P2 में पोटेंशियल का कंट्रीब्यूशन है Q3 के वजह से, इसलिए V23। अब फिर से ये भी एक कंट्रीब्यूशन करेगा, तो पॉइंट P2 में चार्ज Q1 का कंट्रीब्यूशन है तो वो है V2। So V1 is the potential at this particular point due to the effect of the charges Q2 and Q3. V2 is the potential at this point P2 due to the contribution of charge Q1 and Q3, and the potential V3 at the particular point P3 is due to the contribution of charge q1 and q2. Okay, that is why V12 plus V13 is written as V1, V21, V23 written as V2, V31 and 32 is written as V3. Okay. So the total work done will be this one, half of Q1 V1 plus Q2 V2 plus Q3 V3. Okay. In general, if there are n number of charges, point charges, that means here over here we have considered 3 charges. Suppose there are n number of charges, 10, 20, 100, 1000, okay, more than that. So the equation, we can frame an equation like this. So it is, if it is Q1 V1 plus Q2 V2 plus Q3 V3, it can be Q4 V4, Q5 V5, any so on. So it is a summation of k from 1 to n, where it is this equation is qk vk. Okay, so if instead of point charges the region has a continuous charge distribution, तो मतलब ये पर मान लो कि ये तो समझ में आ गया 11 क्वेश्चन 11 इक्वेशन 11, तो अगर मोर देन 3 है, अगर n नंबर ऑफ है, ऐसा कंटिन्यूसली ऐसा है कि वी आर हैविंग p4 p5 okay pn and we have q4 q5 and up to qn. So it will be created, it will give a equation like that, equation of 11. Now suppose if it is considered that instead of point charges the region has a continuous charge distribution. Okay, the region has a continuous charge distribution, तो मतलब हम लोग एक टोटल चार्ज को हम वहां पर ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, लाइन चार्ज को. तो इन प्लेस ऑफ लाइन चार्ज we will not write q1 plus q2 plus q3, we will write only say rho l, मतलब कंटिन्यूस चार्ज एक साथ क्यूमुलेटिवली एक साथ जा रहा है एक लाइन चार्ज. तो वहां ऐसा इक्वेशन तो हम लिखेंगे नहीं, समेशन वी विल राइट इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ dl, मतलब कि लाइन चार्ज का लेंथ है रो l इंटू वी. ओके, रो l इंटू वी. सिमिलरली फॉर सरफेस चार्ज, अगर एक टोटल सरफेस जा रहा है जिसमें अगर पूरा चार्ज है तो वो वर्क डन होगा रो एस इंटू वी, इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ हाफ ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ रो एस इंटू वी डी एस. और अगर वॉल्यूम चार्ज होगा, मतलब कि एक वॉल्यूम है और पूरा एक साथ ट्रांसफर हो रहा है फ्रॉम इन्फिनिटी टू दैट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट, देन द इक्वेशन ऑफ वर्क डन विल बी हाफ इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ रो वी बी dv. नाउ सिंस ये वाला इक्वेशन हमने मैक्सवेल में देखे थे कि रो वी दी वॉल्यूम चार्ज डेंसिटी इज इक्वल्स टू दी डाइवर्जेंस ऑफ डी, द डाइवर्जेंस ऑफ डी. सो दैट मीन्स इक्वेशन नंबर 14 रो वी वी कैन रिप्लेस विथ डाइवर्जेंस ऑफ डी इंटू वी. ओके, इसको रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं. That means this equation can be replaced like this. So for for any vector and scalar, for any vector a and scalar v, मान लो कि ये जो equation है, I'm telling you by step. So that means this particular equation is understood, volume charge. Now this is a Maxwell's equation. So after doing that, why I'm replacing rho v with divergence of d. So we are getting equation number 15. Okay. Now in the equation number 15, I can see that there is a term that divergence of a vector then multiplied with a scalar. Okay, divergence of a vector then multiplied with a scalar. So for any vector a and scalar v, okay, if we have a equation like this, तो मतलब क्या है, मतलब कि divergence of d scalar v ऐसा है ब्रैकेट में, तो आपको ब्रैकेट को खोल दे तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, हम लोग ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं क्योंकि v जो है वो एक स्केलर है. तो स्केलर इज जस्ट अ मैग्नीट्यूड, इट हैज नो डायरेक्शन, सो इट कैन बी जस्ट एसोसिएटेड विद द वेक्टर लाइक दिस. ओके, बट you cannot calculate them together, you cannot find the product together. So there is a law that if you are finding the divergence of a vector, then scalar is multiplied like this. So it can be written as vector dot product of gradient of the scalar plus scalar first, then divergence of the vector. Okay, or if I bring this particular equation like this, ठीक है, तो हमारा जो यहाँ पर है, सॉरी इसको हम इक्वल नहीं करेंगे, वन सेकेंड, दिस इज डिफरेंट, दिस इज वन प्रॉपर्टी. ओके ओके okay, so actually the concept is that this is our equation, this is our equation. okay, equation 15 जहाँ पर ये ब्रैकेट में है. ठीक है, अभी इसको इवेल्युएट कैसे करें? इसको इवेल्युएट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन इसको थोड़ा एक्सपैंड करेंगे. कैसे कि एक आइडेंटिटी है ऐसा कि कोई डाइवर्जेंस ऑफ स्केलर इनटू वेक्टर, अगर ऐसा हो कि v स्केलर है और a वेक्टर है, तो इसको हम लिख सकते हैं ऐसे कि द डॉट प्रोडक्ट बिटवीन अ वेक्टर एंड द ग्रेडियंट ऑफ अ स्केलर प्लस स्केलर ब्रैकेट डाइवर्जेंस ऑफ वेक्टर. So in our case it is this form, that divergence of vector then bracket v, same thing, bracket यहाँ पर यहाँ लिखो, इसको यहाँ लिखो, same thing है. So I will put this one first, then what will happen, that this equation, okay, will be because this, they minus this, I will get, because I am transferring this in the left hand side. So I can write in this way, just replace this one with divergence of d, then v, then this one will be divergence of v d minus d dot gradient of v. तो ये देखो यहाँ पर लिखा है ये, और यहाँ पर ये लिखा है. तो आई एम मॉडिफाइंग दिस इक्वेशन लाइक दिस. ओके, इसको तोड़ दे रहे, ये वाला चीज को, ये वाला चीज को, इसको हम तोड़ के दोनों का डिफरेंस लिख रहे हैं हम लोग. सो आई कैन राइट इन दिस वे. ओके, so that means the identity holds that applying the identity in equation number 16 to 15 we can get equation number 17. So what, this is the work done for a volume charge. Okay, so by applying the divergence theorem to the first term on the right hand side, तो यहाँ पर जो है पहला वाला जो टर्म है, इस पर हम डाइवर्जेंस थ्योरम अप्लाई करेंगे. व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, वी आर ट्राइंग टू सिंप्लीफाई, क्योंकि जो जो थ्योरम हमको पता है वो एक एक करके हम अप्लाई करके वी आर ट्राइंग टू गेट अ रिलेशन, न्यू रिलेशन. व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, वी कैन अप्लाई डाइवर्जेंस थ्योरम ओवर हियर. डाइवर्जेंस थ्योरम क्या था कि डॉट we can transfer the volume integral to a surface integral. So after the divergence theorem on the right hand side, okay, first term on the right hand side, we are getting this equation. तो इसको हम ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं. पहले क्या था, डाइवर्जेंस वी डी, अब हो गया है वी डी. ओके, दैट इज देन द सरफेस, क्लोज सरफेस इंटीग्रल. दैट मीन्स डाइवर्जेंस थ्योरम अगर तुम भूल गए हो तो फिर मैं वापस दिखा देता हूं. ऐसा था, तो यहां पर जो a है ना, a वेक्टर, वो है वी डी, क्योंकि स्केलर को हम वेक्टर के साथ जोड़ रहे हैं, तो ये हो गया a. अब ये देखो, ये इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ क्लोज सरफेस इंटीग्रल ऑफ a है. यहाँ पर अगर a को हम वी डी मान रहे तो ये वाला हिस्सा है. ये कहाँ से मिला, इसको हम इसमें ट्रांसफर किए हैं. ये कहाँ था, ये पहले था, पहले वाले में डाइवर्जेंस ऑफ ए था. ये देखो डाइवर्जेंस ऑफ ए, बी डी मतलब ए. ठीक है, नाउ वी नो दैट v varies as 1 by r and d as 1 by r square for point charges, and v varies as 1 by r square and d as 1 by r cube for dipoles. ये हमने पिछले क्लास में देखा था. ठीक है, पोटेंशियल जो होता है वो 1 बाय आर होता है, डी होता है 1 बाय आर स्क्वायर, लेकिन जब डाइपोल हो गया तो पोटेंशियल हो गया 1 बाय आर स्क्वायर. यहां पर ठीक है, पोटेंशियल हो गया 1 बाय आर स्क्वायर, और इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी हो गया आर क्यूब. तो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी नथिंग बट दी डाइवर्जेंस ऑफ डी. ओके, So hence Vd is the first term on the right hand side. V or D must vary as at least 1 by r cube, क्योंकि V और D जो है वो प्रोडक्ट है पोटेंशियल और इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी का. तो पोटेंशियल जो वेरी करता है, इट वेरीज बाय 1 by r and D varies by 1 by r square. So if they are multiplied, so obviously it will create 1 by r cube, while ds varies as r square. तो यहाँ पर एक प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है इंटीग्रेशन में. So we can understand. So there can be a problem in the unit because this is having 1 by r cube and ds is having r square. Hence Vd in the first term on the right hand side must vary at least by 1 by r cube, while varies. Consequently, the first integral must tend to 0 as the surface integral becomes large. So it tends to 0 because we are having 1 by r cube in the denominator. So that means the integration will tends to 0. Hence equation number 18 reduces to equation number 18 जो है वो ये वाला part जो है is very important. This part will become 0 because the integration will be Vd. We are getting the denominator as r cube, but the integration of dimension of ds is r square. ओके, सो ये वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रल नहीं है, यहाँ पर प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा क्योंकि यहाँ पर वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रल ही होगा, ये आर क्यूब है तो ये वाला इंटीग्रेशन जाएगा. लेकिन वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रल को जब हम सरफेस इंटीग्रल में कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारा जो पैरामीटर है दैट इज वॉल्यूम, ओके, आर क्यूब, सो द इंटीग्रेशन विल रिजल्ट इन 0 वैल्यू. दैट इज वाई वी आर ओनली कीपिंग द सेकेंड टर्म. सो वर्क डन विल बी W is half minus half of volume integral of d dot gradient of v. ठीक है. अब ग्रेडियंट ऑफ v मतलब क्या है? ग्रेडियंट ऑफ v मतलब ग्रेडियंट ऑफ v मतलब कि E is माइनस ग्रेडियंट ऑफ v. ठीक है, E is माइनस ग्रेडियंट ऑफ v. ओके, सो यहां पर एक माइनस है. E is where यहाँ पर लिख सकते हैं तो वेर यहाँ पर लिखा, सिंस लिखा है ऑलरेडी, इज ऑलरेडी रिटन, सिंस ई इज माइनस ग्रेडियंट ऑफ वी, तो ये इसको हम रिप्लेस कर रहे हैं. इसको हम लिखेंगे माइनस ई और माइनस माइनस कट हो जाएगा तो हो गया प्लस ई. तो डी डॉट ई. ओके, अभी डी मतलब एप्सिलॉन नॉट ई, ये वाला. इसलिए d को एप्सिलॉन नॉट ई करने से क्या हो रहा है कि एप्सिलॉन d डॉट ई था, अभी क्या हो रहा है एप्सिलॉन नॉट ई इंटू ई, तो ये हो रहा है एप्सिलॉन नॉट ई स्क्वायर. डॉट प्रोडक्ट है तो इट इज बिकमिंग ए स्केलर. ओके, सो वर्क डन इज हाफ इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ एप्सिलॉन नॉट ई स्क्वायर डीवी. So this is the case for volume integral only. ये वाला सिर्फ जो पॉइंट चार्जेस के लिए ये है, लाइन चार्ज और सर्फेस चार्ज के लिए ये है, लेकिन वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रल जो है वो यहाँ पर चेंज हो रहा है. इसका इक्वेशन ये है. ओके, सो दैट मीन्स वर्क डन इज अ स्केलर क्वांटिटी. वर्क डन इज नॉट अ वेक्टर क्वांटिटी. ओके, so from this we can define the electrostatic energy density. okay, density मतलब के अगर वर्क डन वॉल्यूम चार्ज के हिसाब से हो रहा है, मतलब कि वॉल्यूम चार्ज को, वॉल्यूम को हम ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं इन्फिनिटी से एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया में, वॉल्यूम को ट्रांसफर किया जा रहा है. तो यहाँ पर तो देयर विल बी अनकाउंटेबल नंबर ऑफ चार्जेस. सो व्हाट इज द वर्क डन पर वॉल्यूम? टोटल वॉल्यूम है v, वॉल्यूम है v. ओके, so dv is the total volume. मान लो what is the work done per unit volume? So divided by dv. So divide by dv, that means you are dividing, you are just cancelling the integration. okay, so ये हो गया हाफ d डॉट, तो मतलब ये वाला इक्वेशन आएगा, ये वाला. इसको dv को कैंसिल करेंगे क्योंकि इसको इंटीग्रेट करके हमको वॉल्यूम मिलेगा, फिर वापस वॉल्यूम को डिवाइड करेंगे तो हाफ एप्सिलॉन नॉट ई स्क्वायर हो जाएगा. तो ये है एनर्जी पर यूनिट वॉल्यूम. नाउ इफ यू हैव द वैल्यू ऑफ एनर्जी पर यूनिट वॉल्यूम, देन अगेन यू कैन इंटीग्रेट विद द वॉल्यूम टू गेट द टोटल एनर्जी. So small w is the work done to work done per unit volume, not energy actually, work done per unit volume, and capital W is the total work done, okay, considering the entire volume. Okay. Okay, so I will continue discussion of the numericals in the next class. Okay, since it is time. Okay, so you go through the notes. I will share the notes with you. If you face any problem, we can discuss in the next class. Okay, so I will continue the discussion in the next class. Okay, I think your next class from 9:50 has already started, so you may leave this class. Okay, whatever problem you have, we can discuss in the upcoming lecture. So thank you.